For the next hour, the green and gold are in charge. Welcome to In the Huddle on the Woodward Radio Network. Now, here's Bill Scott and Green Bay offensive lineman T.J. Lang.
And good evening, everyone, and welcome to the fifth quarter in Little Chute. Good to have you along after the Packers pull out a 28-24 victory over the Minnesota Vikings. That really, TJ, was one of the best games for a regular season I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was. It was back and forth. You know, we thought our defense played outstanding again, getting a bunch of turnovers, putting us in great possession or field possession, and it was a battle. We were going back and forth. We knew going into the game it was going to be a hard-fought battle, and we're just happy we came out on top.
It was even for the offense. I thought the first quarter and a half was about as crisp as this football team has been at times this season from an offensive standpoint. And kind of, baby steps. Third down conversions, been a problem in the past. There were 6 for 11, 55%. That's much more in line what the team is looking for and what you're going to need to do to be successful.
Yeah, well, that was one of our main goals going into the game. The past 2 losses we had, we were really struggling on third down, and we knew that we were going to have to convert those third downs and even do a better job on first and second down to put ourselves in better third down field possession. And we did I thought early on we made some big plays. Aaron was whipping the balls in there. James Jones had a bunch of nice catches, and I thought the protection for the most part was pretty good yesterday too. So we're starting to get rolling a little bit on offense. We're not quite up to playing our potential yet, but we're getting there, and we're definitely building confidence.
I heard Nick Collins say after the game that he kind of referred to it as an event. It was just one of those things that you could say historically you were a part of, that it was that big of a football game.
It was huge. It was anytime you play the Vikings, it's a division game. Those are the most important ones, those division games. And we lost to the Vikings twice last year, and to come out yesterday and the guys played with great effort, and to come out with a win was a good feeling. You
continue your jack of all trades mastery, picking up is that your first tackle you've ever had as a member of a defensive side of the ball in pro football?
Yeah, it was. I kind of got it. I got in on a little late, but. I don't know if it was on the stat sheet, but I kind of got in there a little bit, and it was nice to get into play a little bit.
Yeah, obviously not too late because they gave me an assist on it, which it's the same as a tackle.
All right, I'll take it.
Absolutely. and I just based on your conversation when you arrived, you were no longer a voting member of the Chris Collinsworth fan club.
No, Chris didn't have any nice things to say about me on TV last night playing defense, but. I'm an offensive lineman. What do you expect?
Yeah, that's what I said.
I'd like to see him go play linebacker or something, see how he does.
Yeah, I would hope that if you ever come across, face to face with Chris Collinsworth, say, hey, I play tight end, I play defensive line, and I play tackle. What do you want from me?
Yeah, it's I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Chris anymore.
Packers intercept Brett Favre 3 times in what may have been his final game at Lambeau Field. Desmond Bishop taking one back to the house as we continue to bring. Usually, people that come through these doors usually do well, and it's kind of a stepping stone. If they show up on the T.J. Lang show, good things are bound to happen.
Yeah, it's a good trend. Let's keep it going.
4-3 record tied for the lead in the NFC North with the slumping Bears, who, quite frankly, their record gets their schedule gets the utmost difficulty as time goes by. I'm not so sure that even if you lose the football game that the way this NFC is going that you would have been that far out of anything. But certainly 4-3 at this point in time makes you feel a lot better about where you are. You're in the division lead at the moment, or at least tied for the division lead. Things certainly a lot brighter today, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. When you look at our record, obviously we would want to be better than 4-3. But the hindsight of things, we're tied for the top of the division. It's been a very competitive conference so far this year. You got teams that have been bad in the past are getting good, and it's been very competitive every game. It's tough to win football games, but being at the top of the division is a good place to be after 7 games.
And a 3-game slide against the Vikings. You were there for 2 of them last year, and anytime you you run a streak of losses together against a division rival, especially one like the Vikings, who I think arguably are now the biggest rivals of the Green Bay Packers at the moment anyway. That's a huge thing to be able to put an end to that streak and to win this football game.
Yeah, we one thing we had last year is, we kind of talked about the way we approached the Vikings game last year and the way the media was handling it, and I think everybody made it out to be bigger than what it really was. And this year we took a different approach. It was just like any other game. We didn't put any extra pressure on everybody. We knew that it was a huge game, being 3-3. We took a different approach in practice this week. Everybody, was comfortable doing their job, and we didn't put any extra pressure on everybody else, and we went out there and we played a good game yesterday.
I think the fans, some thought that the fans treated this one kind of like their Super Bowl yesterday and last night after the win, and what did Clay Matthews say? He said, what are they doing? Are they burning couches out there? Because I'll go join them. So I don't know about anybody else. I think Clay Matthews thought it was a pretty big game.
Yeah, it was. I mean, our fans were outstanding yesterday. That was probably the best crowd I've been a part of at Lambeau. They were loud, they were screaming, and that was really the first time in the past 2 years that it was really rocking in there, and that's what we needed. That put us over the top. I mean, sometimes people don't understand how big the crowd can play into the game, and when you got the opposing team that has to use silent count, and sometimes they won't get all the audibles and checks due to the noise. I mean, that plays huge for our defense. So let's keep it up, man. That was awesome. That was awesome atmosphere yesterday, and that's what we're going to need every week.
Aaron Rodgers afterwards downplayed, beating Brett Favre for the first time. He may be keeping all that bottle in, within himself and not saying much, maybe more out of respect for Brett Favre and for the game itself. But you've got to believe everything that he went through, that was a monumental victory for him last night.
I would think so. I mean, that's just the type of guy that Aaron is. He's not going to ever put any individual, statistics over the team. And I'm sure, I saw him jump up at the end of the game yesterday, how excited he was. And that was a big win for Aaron to finally get over that. And, I'm sure he's holding some emotion back, but, he played phenomenal yesterday, and we were all happy for him to get the win.
Yeah, and of course he was able to jump because he didn't get sacked, unlike the 14 times from a year ago.
That's true.
He still had a little spring in his step, and we'll talk more about that as we go on in the program. But a great effort by the offensive line, the tackles, Balaga and Clifton. It was a special performance. We'll come back with more, and we'll meet tonight's player guest. In the Huddle continues from the fifth quarter in Little Chute after this on the Woodward Radio Network.
Back to In the Huddle with Bill Scott and Green Bay offensive lineman TJ Lang.
And we are back at the fifth quarter in Little Chute. Our program brought to you each and every Monday night by Mole Lake Casino Resort and Conference Center. Back with TJ Lang, and our guest on the show tonight caught a touchdown pass in last night's win. He's rookie fifth-round tight end out of Penn State. He wears number 81, Andrew Quarless. Thanks for coming out, Andrew.
Oh, thank you for having me.
All right, now let's get it out of the way right off the bat because you saw the film today. You'll take the touchdown, but it really wasn't a touchdown, was it?
Like I said, like I tell everybody, it's in the stat book. Just watching over the play, the ball never really hit the ground. I just made sure it didn't hit the ground. I had full possession of it. As soon as my back hit the ground, I hit it pretty hard. I kind of, shuffled it a little bit, but like I said, it never hit the ground, so that's all that matters.
You're in prime time. You score a touchdown against the Minnesota Vikings, Sunday Night Football. That really, regardless of all that other stuff, and I only bring that up, and just kidding, because it counts. It's a touchdown. It was a big play and a big win for the Green Bay Packers. That had to be, and that's number one in your career. So that's a milestone right there.
It definitely was a great feeling. Like I said, I just made sure I held onto the ball, and when I got up, I kind of was in shock, and I forgot. I think it was Jennings said, "Run to the crowd," and I just ran in Lambeau leap.
Yeah, how'd that feel?
Oh, it was amazing. My first official Lambeau leap. Just the crowd was into it. Everybody was having fun, and it was just an amazing feeling.
Nothing, no lewd or lascivious behavior by the fans once you got there?
I think they.
That's been known to happen.
They were hitting me pretty hard though when I was in the stands, beating me up pretty good, but it was all fun.
TJ, I know you really want to do that, don't you?
Yeah, hopefully sometime this season. They took me out of tight end last week, but hopefully.
They got a nice little package for him though, at tight end.
I'd like to get a pass thrown to me sooner or later. But
one of these days.
Hopefully I can make it up into the crowd. That's a big leap for me. But I might need to jump off a chair. One of those guys sit on by the wall.
They, you know what, it's already coined the leap of faith, but that might be something that, it might be your leap of faith.
Yeah, I might have to have a couple of linemen just two-hand lift me up in the crowd and just launch me, but that would be
all right. So you got the package in for you at tight end. I mean, have they thrown a ball to you in practice yet?
No, I'm just out there to block.
Because I don't know that it's going to happen in a game unless they do it in practice first. So.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, I'm feeling it. It's coming soon, though. We'll see.
Well, sometimes it takes. It's kind of like the running game. I mean, Mike McCarthy in his presser day admitted, he said, we don't run the ball enough. I don't give the ball. I don't call Brandon Jackson's number enough. Now, 3 weeks ago, he wasn't even close to saying that. So sometimes it just takes a little bit of time, and time's on your side.
Yeah, I would.
I was kind
of thinking about it last week when they had the package in. I was like, man, they're gonna have a touch or the pass thrown to me, and I kind of got all boggled to think about what I would do if I actually caught it or scored, and kind of got a little nervous. So I don't know if that time ever comes. I'm definitely gonna catch it.
Now that you're a bona fide tight end, any tips for the rookie here?
Yeah, I mean, he's doing a good job catching the ball, but I always got a few tips for blocking out there. I mean, I think we got the same speed. So
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. But this guy right here, this is an athlete. This is a real athlete. He's doing tight end, O-line, D tackle. He's everything, man. I'm proud of him.
I've always thought I mean, you know what? They have to think of you as a special player if they ask you to do that many things.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think so. I was telling him last night. Just they threw him in there. We had some D linemen go down, and offensive linemen might have to step up, and I think he's really doing a good job of that.
Yeah. How big of a surprise was that when that happened last night? When the defense, I mean, you had Jenkins strained a calf muscle in pregame warmups, but the 45-man roster had already been set, so they couldn't go back on it. So you basically were down to 44, and then Pickett plays 7 plays and re-aggravates his ankle. So now you're down to 43, but only 3 healthy defensive linemen.
Yeah, well, I thought those guys did a tremendous job. CJ, BJ, and Jarius. CJ, I think, had a great game, best game he's had since he's been around. I don't know how many tackles he finished with, 8 or 9, but he was back there. He was hitting. I think he hit Favre on one of the interceptions he threw that caused him to throw the pick. And those guys played a great game. And I mean, I played 4 plays of defense, and I was pretty tired. Those guys played the whole game, so I know they had to be pretty worn out. But they did a fantastic job when those 2 older guys went down.
Well, Andrew, you started the season as a guy that was going to be probably kind of just brought along and given a little bit more and more, and in terms of a role in this offense, and all of a sudden, bam, there goes Jermichael Finley. He's down. Now he's out for the season. Your role has changed a whole lot, hasn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely. I actually didn't dress the first 2 games. Coming out of preseason, I didn't know that it was I thought 53 everybody dressed, and I kind of found out the hard way. But it definitely was a learning experience. I think made me stronger. Those 2 times when I didn't dress, I did my job as a teammate. Which was to cheer my team on in the first 2 games, and then when Jermichael went down, I just had to be ready. As a pro, you got to be accountable and be ready. Yeah.
By the way, the worst rule in all of professional football, well, one of the worst rules, anyway. At least that's the pulpit I'm on right now, is 50. I mean, you got 53. You pay 53 guys. It's not like you take a pay cut if you don't suit up. Why not suit all 53 guys for a football game?
I don't get it. I mean,
you're just trying to hurt 8 guys' feelings is what you're trying to do.
pretty much. I mean, like I said, I had to learn the hard way. I'm going into the first game against the Eagles thinking, I made the 53. I'm gonna play, and then I'm in the locker room probably an hour before the game, and they give me a hoodie and say, cheer on the sideline. But like I said, I did my job as a teammate and just cheered them on.
It's we talk about that role increasing, but it is a substantial role. I mean, things are totally different. You're now cast in a role where you're probably the major pass-catching tight end on this roster. Donald Lee is going to get his opportunities, and he played very well last night. He had some big plays as well. but you're certainly one of the two guys that they're going to throw the football to in this offense. And as Aaron Rodgers gets more and more comfortable with you as the season progresses, your role is probably going to increase, probably going to double, maybe even triple from where it is right now.
Yeah, I'm definitely grateful. Coming into preseason, we had 4 or 5 tight ends. It was a great competition, and just seeing how guys like Donald Lee and Jermichael Finley, how they trained and how they carried themselves as a pro, I think only helped me and made me more ready. When those guys went down, just me taking mental notes, from preseason and games before, it just made me more ready.
When you saw, did you know anything about Jermichael Finley before you got here?
I knew of him in Texas. I knew of him in Texas. I usually like the tight ends that wear low-digit numbers. That means that we're athletic. So I knew of him. He wore a low number in college.
So were you surprised to come here knowing that they had him?
Not so much. I mean, if they drafted me, I knew they had a plan for me. So I knew I just had to work at it and just find my way into the offense.
Yeah, this is the league of pretty much a 2 tight end. There are everybody uses 2 tight end formations, and but that means one of those guys is going to have to block quite a bit. Tom Crabtree's already established himself as an excellent blocking tight end. So I would imagine that that's one of the things as you continue here in Green Bay, that's something that you're going to want to improve on, because it's when you're a pass catching tight end in college, you're not necessarily in the role you played at Penn State. You're not necessarily asked to do a lot of that.
Well, actually, in Penn State, I felt that I was blocking a whole lot more.
Did you?
In Penn State, yeah, I think that was one of the things that made me more ready. But in this NFL, you got guys 300 pounds running probably as fast as you are. So it's something I'm really getting adjusted to. The speed and stuff like that. But in time and experience, I think I only get better. Yeah,
it is a different world in the NFL. Was it a rude awakening, or did you think you were kind of ready for that?
I don't think, like I said, I don't think you're ever ready for that. Guys, like I said, 300 pounds running so fast and so strong. But it's something that you just got to work on. Fundamentals. A lot of stuff that we go up and practice will only help you. Little fundamentals. Whether it's footwork, hand placement, and stuff like that.
You caught the game-winning touchdown in the East-West Shrine game. That had to be pretty neat deal, huh?
Oh yeah, that was definitely that commercial.
That's the 30-second view.
Okay. I thought he was cutting me off. The East-West game, that was big because a lot of my family actually got to see that. It was down in Florida. A lot of my family live in Florida, and it was just amazing, to get out there in front of all those scouts and teams and show them what I could do.
All right, we'll continue our conversation with Andrew Quarless and TJ Lang. Back with more after this on the Woodward Radio Network.
Now back to In the Huddle with Bill Scott and Green Bay offensive lineman TJ Lang.
And we're back here at the 5th quarter in Little Chute. Transportation provided by L&S Classic Limousine. Personal professional service for all occasions. Call 800-830-5933 for your reservation. Lenny and Sue doing a bang-up job again this season. We appreciate all of their help. That's L&S Classic Limousine. Don't forget to email your question of the week to us at inthehuddleshow.com. Each week we'll reward one email participant with a 2-night stay and lift tickets for 2 days to Granite Peak Ski Area in Wausau. We'll continue with that each and every week and give you an opportunity to win that nice ski package. So that's coming up in our next segment. We continue our conversation here on this Monday night with TJ Lang and Andrew Quarless. The Packers say 2 more players headed for season-ending surgery today. Linebacker Brady Papinga, defensive end Mike Neal will both be out for the year. Mike Neal with a rotator cuff injury and it just never healed for him. And Brady Papinga originally thought that the knee injury that he had was not going to be as serious, but as so often happens when they get inside with the scope, they see more damage. So there's 2 more. So you guys are down 6 in all 6 key contributing members of this football team. So sometimes you wonder when it's going to stop. But Mike McCarthy talking today that sometimes the teams that have those injuries early have the best chance to adapt, get young players the reps that they need so that when you roll on throughout the rest of the season, those players have already been schooled and are ready now to contribute as the season goes along. So it's important that you have those extra games for those players to learn, and we're talking with Andrew Quarless. He's a player that certainly fits that mold. And TJ, you're probably an injury away from making a key contribution to this football team as well.
Yeah, well, like I said last week, all 53 guys on the roster are here for a reason. The coaches believe that they can play. Everybody has confidence that they can play. So when the guy in front of you goes down, you're just going to have to step up and make some plays. And I think Andrew's a great example of that. He's really grown up here the last few weeks, and he's turning into a key contributor for us. So we're going to need some other younger guys to step up and keep going on the path that we're going.
Brett Favre was hobbling around quite a bit last night down the stretch. Apparently there's a reason why. He was diagnosed today with 2 separate fractures in his left ankle, and his status for Sunday's game against the Patriots is uncertain. The guy played here for like 16 years. Come on, people. Seepers.
Yeah.
Man. Hey, you know what? You fans that boo now will be the same fans, and I said this yesterday. As soon as he retires and he comes back to Green Bay and he shows up at a function and you're there, you're going to want his autograph. You're going to think he's the greatest guy in the world. Yeah. Absolutely. That's the way you fans are. I know it. You people are so
I hope nobody don't try to hurt me.
You don't have
personally.
Fans here.
me personally, I was excited to see Favre play.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up with him, grew up watching him. Probably been playing for just about as long as I've been alive. So I was kind of excited, just seeing, even though he was on the enemy line.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, I say this to the fans here in jest because I feel the same way. It's really, I don't really feel that sorry for the guy. But then again, 5 years from now, I'm not going to be lining up for his autograph like I know all you people will. So, yeah. You can boo me now, but I'll see you in the autograph line. I know it. If we brought him here and he was signing autographs, you all would be right in line. I know you would. Boo all you want.
Bill's making enemies tonight.
That doesn't bother me. You know what? I call it. I tell it the way it is. I call it the way I see it. Donald Driver saw his consecutive game streak with at least one catch come to an end at 139 consecutive games. So that's a tough thing for him, and because it was just one of those things. He's been so healthy for such a long time. Really a respected guy in that locker room, and to see that thing not happen for him, that's tough. I know it really, probably in the end when Donald retires, he'll look back and say, yeah, I wish I could have caught a pass in that game to keep that streak alive. But in the end, he'll be the first to say, we won the football game. It's really not that big a deal.
I think he's a great example of what I've talked about before, just being a pro. That's why you say he's able to be so healthy. You can just watch the way he trains and the way he takes care of his body. He's about 35, and I was in the weight room with him earlier, and he's still getting after it like he's 21. Mm-hmm. So it's just great to see that, and it's definitely helping me. When I see stuff like that as a young player, it's definitely inspirational.
There was a time this season where I'm not so sure the Packers really knew who their kick returner was, and I know it's just one game, but I thought Pat Lee looked like a kick returner yesterday.
Yeah, I thought he made some nice returns. That's one thing we've kind of been struggling with this year is finding a guy that Jordy did a great job of it early on, and then he kind of had a little setback, and Pat and Jordy were kind of going back and forth, but. He did a good job yesterday. We didn't get trapped, too far in our own zone to put our offense in bad field position. So, he did a great job. He's just going to have to start being more consistent. And, the special teams are starting to play a lot better. We had a couple weeks there where guys weren't giving the best effort they should have. But yesterday, everybody was putting it together, and we made some nice plays.
Andrew, you grew up in Uniondale, New York. You still make that your home?
Yep.
Okay. What's in Uniondale? What's it famous for? If I went there, is there an attraction, something I'd want to go see?
The Rangers play there. The Long Island. the Islanders.
Oh yeah, okay.
New York Islanders.
So that's inner city. That's a suburb.
But also the Jets used to have their facility right there. So I kind of grew up on the Jets. Even though we playing them this week, but I kind of grew up on them. They practice probably about 5 minutes from where I live.
Yeah. So who was your hero for the Jets back then?
Probably Testaverde.
The Vin man.
Yeah, he's from Long Island also. He's from not too far from where I live.
Mm-hmm. He had a pretty good quarterback in his day, I'd say, huh? Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's put up some pretty good numbers. What was the biggest football moment in your career so far?
I'll probably say the Rose Bowl. We went to the Rose Bowl my junior year. got beat pretty bad by a good USC team with Mark Sanchez leading. He really exposed us, but it was just fun. It was just fun, just being in that atmosphere, being in a BCS game, of that sort. The granddad had your wall, that's what they say, and it's just a great feeling.
All right, so Joe Paterno, Penn State recruiting you. Did he seal the deal?
Oh yeah, definitely. Joe, he actually came to my school, came to my home, and he just had some great talks. We went over film, and he just told me that they was ready for me, and it was going to be a great place for me. And I'm happy with my decision. I never look back, and I'm happy with it.
Yeah. So how do you look at a guy with glasses that thick?
Hey, Joe is an interesting guy. He's I want to say 84. And I know he's still out there getting at it, yelling at people. I seen him get on the field and smack people over the head, and it's just funny.
He still runs from the tunnel all the way out.
He's still getting after it, and I'm happy to see that. I think it's gonna be there till probably, hopefully, he thinks probably 15 more years. He says he's gonna never go.
Yeah, he really, and we won't go too far into detail, but you were I don't want to call you a hellraiser, but when you were in college, you went down the wrong road a couple of times, and it involved some parties and some drinking and stuff like that, and he was you were this close to being off the football team, and he cut you some slack.
Oh yeah. Me and Joe had our stuff we went through. We had a pretty tough relationship. But early in my career, like you said, I was having a lot of fun. It was like we was top 5 ranked party school every year. So I was just, having a lot of fun. Made a couple mistakes with, drinking wise, but it really came, I want to say, my junior year, when Joe was really ready to let me go. I had a second or third incident, and he was, he ready to let me go. And I had to actually went to his house and had a man-to-man with him. And he really didn't want to hear too much, but I said, Joe, I know you've been in the game so long, you've seen a lot of people, a lot of players come through, but just give me another chance. And I don't want to say too much more. I'll just show you. And he gave me another chance, and just
and
took
you
it from
did
there.
that. You stopped the partying. You stopped the drinking. It's really a great story, and it's probably prevented you from making the mistake when you get to this level, because you kind of were forced to grow up a little quicker.
I think being in trouble like that early in my career, just helped me a whole lot. Like you said, now that I'm here, I know, more of my responsibilities and what it's about.
Yeah, great story. Good for you. I'm glad to see everything worked out for you. Andrew Quarless, tight end of the Green Bay Packers. We're coming back. Our email segment is coming up. Chance to win a $400 ski package from Granite Peak Ski Area. Back with more of this on the Woodward Radio Network.
Now, back to In the Huddle with Bill Scott and Green Bay offensive lineman TJ Lang.
And we're back here at the 5th quarter in Little Chutes. In the Huddle, heard on some of these great radio stations around Wisconsin, like WFHR in Wisconsin Rapids, WDUX-FM in Wapaka, WCLB in Sheboygan, WRPN in Ripon, WJMQ in Clintonville, WXCE in Amory, and right here in the Fox River Valley, WHBY and WSCO, The Score, AM 1570. It's time now for the Granite Peak Ski Area segment. It's in Wausau, the tallest and largest ski area in Wisconsin with 700 vertical feet and 74 runs. Granite Peak offers terrain for all levels of skiers, along with 6 terrain parks and tree skiing glades. Right now you can save big money on season passes and multiple day lift tickets by visiting skigranitepeak.com. Great specials on now at skigranitepeak.com. And it's time now for our email segment. Let's go out to our live audience, WSCO's Justin Hull.
All right, TJ, I want to throw this one. I forgot to bring it up last week. Josh Sitton was the guest. Does he shower before the games? Because that guy has the most soaked uniform out of it. His green jersey is a different shade of green than everybody else. I don't know if anybody ever noticed it, but I was curious to why that is.
Yeah, Justin claimed he forgot that question, but I think Sitton would have beat him up.
He was scared of him.
He would have beat him up if he'd asked him.
When he said Steven Seagal would have played the character of his life, I kind of shied away from it. I'll admit it.
Josh is an interesting guy, man. He's one of a kind. I think he's one of the only players I know that doesn't wear an undershirt. Usually some guys wear spandex, and It's just his style, man. He's just one of a kind. So, you know, when you're not wearing an undershirt, that sweat really comes through. And he's a big guy too, so he's out there busting his butt. He sweats a lot, but
I'm sure everybody will notice that next week. I guarantee it now. All right, we'll start with the questions here, the good questions. We'll start with Paul from Appleton. Wants to know if either of you were able to talk to Driver after the game to see how he felt about that streak being snapped. He had 133 consecutive catches before last night.
I actually didn't know about that he didn't catch a pass. I'm gonna go talk to him though. I'm pretty sure he's still happy. You know, that's a great streak to have. But I actually didn't know.
yeah, I didn't know until Bill brought it up either. And I mean, that shows a lot about Drive. You know, he's the type of guy that he's team first. You know, he's a true professional, like Andrew said. And you know, after we won, you know, nobody noticed that, even that stat. So sometimes that's just the way the plays fold out. You know, Aaron was doing a great job yesterday finding open guys, and unfortunately his record broke. But he's a guy that's not going to show that.
And just for clarification, I said 139. 139 includes playoff games. 133 is regular season. So
I'll give him 139.
yeah, I would too.
All right, we'll get to our next question from Lynn. This one's for you, Andrew. Can you explain to us what was happening with the missed passes from Rodgers yesterday? It appeared that you guys had a little bit of miscommunication on a few plays.
Between me and Rodgers?
Between the receiver staff as receiving core as a whole.
You know, when it comes to, you know, quarterback Aaron Rodgers and his receivers, it's more about a rhythm and being in sync. You know, a lot of times, you know, in practice, we work so hard on, you know, just the little things. And, you know, sometimes we might, with the game speed being so fast and things being so fast, you might kind of get off track by a step. You know, it could be, you know, if he has a 5-step drop back and you run a route that's, you have to look in 5 steps. You know, it's all about timing, and you know, it's just something that we have to work on and get better in time.
Yeah, it looked like some of them were more sideline things, like he was trying to drop one off the back shoulder and trying to, and sometimes it's based on just the receiver seeing something and then Rodgers sees it. And
I mean, it's really about being on the same page.
It's being on the same
you know,
page,
like
right?
I said, working so hard in practice, we work those back shoulder throws, depending on, you know. Aaron Rodgers is a pretty, you know, smart guy. I mean, he's really going to put that ball where only you can catch it. You know, if he feels the defender on your inside, he's going to throw it to your backside. And, you know, he's really sharp, and you just really got to get on. It's a matter about you getting on page with him. Because he's moving fast out there, and he's sharp.
Is the timing thing, I mean, is it different in the pros? Was it a lot like that in college?
Oh, yeah, it's a lot different in the pros. Like I said, you know, if he's doing a 5-step drop back and you're supposed to look, you know, within that time on your break. You know, if you're not looking in that split second, you wait a second to look, he's on to the next receiver. So, you know, everything's moving fast.
How's your timing on that flag route on the goal line play, TJ, with Aaron? You got that down yet?
We haven't practiced yet, but it's coming. I told
TJ can't give out all the secrets.
All right, we'll go to our next question from Judy. She wants to know, when a player is fined, where does that money go and what is it used for?
I would like to know, too.
Nobody knows. It goes to Roger Goodell's office, and I think they put that out at the end of the year for, I think, scholarships for, as I'm told. I mean, I don't know if it's true for, you know, Pop Warner teams or scholarships for college, but
not little Johnny Goodell and Stevie Goodell.
I mean,
I think they set off.
Have either of you had a fine yet in your pro days?
Nah, no fines. I'm moving straight on the narrow.
Yeah, I got fined the first preseason game my rookie year. I got fined for I guess I illegally dove at somebody's knees, and yeah, that was not a good FedEx letter to get 3 days later. I was kind of scared to play the next game because I didn't want to lose any more money.
Well.
I was going to say, and of course, the other thing that they get at the end of the year, all those that contribute to get a fresh fruit basket from the NFL office.
We kind of get to the next question, too, from Matt and Madison, just with the fines. I mean, a lot of the talk this week in the NFL has been about the helmet-to-helmet. What is your guys' take on what the NFL is doing? And, well, I know, TJ, you guys talked about that last week. How about you, Andrew? Your kind of feelings on that?
I think it's important that, you know, you protect the players. I think that helmet-to-helmet, I mean, it's really not acceptable. But like a guy like Harrison to get fined $75,000, that might be a little extreme, but I definitely think it's great that, you know, they're trying to protect the players better.
All right, thanks to all the email questions. We'll come back and we'll announce our winner when we come back. Fifth quarter in Little Chute is where we're at each and every Monday night. Back with more after this on the Woodward Radio Network.
Now, back to In the Huddle with Bill Scott and Green Bay offensive lineman TJ Lang.
And we're back here at the fifth quarter in Little Chute. Packers with a 28-24 win over the Vikings on Monday nights. And TJ Lang and Andrew Quarless back with us again tonight. TJ's with me every Monday night. So let's go back out to Justin Hall to announce the winner of tonight's Granite Peak Ski Area email question of the week.
All right, well, the panel has discussed it, and Judy, who had the question about the fines for Stevie and little Johnny Goodell and their college fund, she'll pick up the ski package from Granite Peak.
Better than $400. The ski area, Granite Peak Ski Area up in the Wausau area, so congratulations to Judy. I want to go back to the Favre thing because I kind of kid the fans here in jest. And I do think, though, that in the end, when it's all said and done and Brett Favre steps away from the league for 5 years or whatever, and he becomes a more integral part, the Packers as an organization are going to want him to be back and represent them. And I think there have been some things that have taken place that are far worse than what Brett Favre has done, and people forgive. I mean, it's just he's been their hero for such a long period of time. But what I really don't like is I don't like when you listen to the network people and they say, why are the fans booing this guy for everything he's done for them? Unless you've lived here and spent, all those years with him and then seen the guy that has been your hero walk out and go directly to the enemy, you really don't know. And I don't know that it's their place to judge the fans of Green Bay. I mean, this isn't New York. This isn't Chicago. This is small town NFL. It's a market that's unique unto itself, and until you lived here and have gone through that, I really don't know that it's their place to be judging Packers fans if they haven't been through it. So that's kind of the way I feel about it. And there'll be some fans that'll be so disappointed what he did that they won't care and they won't come back. And more power to them if that's the way they feel. That, nobody's saying that they have to do that. But I think over time most people will forgive and forget.
I agree with you. I think it'll definitely take some time. But like you said, anytime you got a guy like that's so iconic in a city and he goes to, I don't think people had a big problem with him going to the Jets, but the Vikings, that's a completely different story. And people are looking at it now where he's playing for the Vikings, but sooner or later, when he retires and when it's all said and done, I think it'll definitely take time. But I'm kind of in a different perspective because I wasn't here for the whole Brett Favre era, and I wasn't here to see how the fans really treated him. But it'll take time, and I think eventually he'll be an icon back in Green Bay.
Yeah. What'd you guys have, like 2 penalties yesterday? 2 or 3 penalties all told as a football team?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I mean, it was a pretty.
Let us play yesterday.
Yeah, they did let you play, and the Vikings. I mean, I think the two combined team. I think the teams combined had like 7, and there were a couple of big ones on the Vikings down the stretch there that were certainly warranted. I mean, they were legitimate penalties, but overall, when you guys cleaned that up, I thought what a performance by the offensive line and the guys on the outside, Clifton and Balaga in particular, going against Jared Allen and Ray Edwards. That was pivotal. I think Clifton said that Mike McCarthy challenged the entire offensive line, those 2 guys in particular, to really step up and play a big football game. Aaron Rodgers was hardly touched in that game yesterday.
Yeah, that was the Vikings. They have one of the most talented front 7 in the game of football, especially up front with their front 4. And I thought all across the board those guys did a great job with giving Aaron time. He was back there feeling comfortable, and I think it showed. He made a lot of big throws, and that's something that it can't be a one-game basis for us. We're going to have to build on that and keep it consistent throughout the rest of the year.
More upsets in the league yesterday. Cleveland in New Orleans, 30-17, which is just unbelievable.
Yeah, shocker.
And the Raiders in Denver, 59-14 at Denver.
Sound like a college school.
Buffalo almost knocked off Baltimore. I mean, the Ravens had to win on a late field goal as well. What do you think's going on with this league right now?
I think, Coach says all the time, everybody on the field is getting paid. Everybody's a professional, so you can't overlook. I mean, even a team that's coming in unbeat, with no wins. I mean, like you said, they're out there, they're getting paid, they're doing the same thing you're doing. So, you really can't underestimate any team. They're all great athletes.
What kind of what kind of a challenge are the Packers in store for against the Jets?
Well, it's going to be a great challenge for us. I don't know, what's their record? 6-1?
5-1.
5-1. Yeah, I mean they're top of the league.
And they're coming off a bye week, so they're well rested.
Yeah, and that's Miami was coming off a bye week when we played them too, so they're going to have plenty of time to study us. But we're going to be at New York. I know their crowd is pretty rough up there. They got a lot of talent on their team, so we're just going to need to take this performance we had yesterday and keep building on it. We got to keep taking steps forward, and we got to be more consistent. We can't take a step backwards, but it's going to be a challenge for us. We're going to need all three phases: the offense, special teams, and defense to come together and play a complete game.
Yeah, a guy that I think has really kind of revived his career, seems to really hit a stride again like he used to, is LaDainian Tomlinson. He's running pretty well for that football team. So this is kind of a going home deal for you?
Oh, yeah.
You have a lot of family, friends?
Oh, yeah, everybody's getting after me. I have some tickets, so I got to figure out how I'm going to, get everybody the tickets. But
you guys don't get a lot of tickets on the road, do you?
2. Well, we have an option to buy 2, or if a lot of guys don't use theirs away sometimes, so you can buy some other guys tickets too.
Oh yeah, like I said, I'm definitely excited, to get back home and in front of my hometown and beat the Jets. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
They are one of the most physical teams in football, so it's going to be a challenge, but I think the Packers certainly a physical team as well. Hey, thanks for coming out. Best of luck to you, and good luck against the Jets.
Thank you for having me.
Look forward to seeing you again.
Appreciate it.
Andrew Quarless of the Green Bay Packers. TJ, go get him on Sunday, and we'll see you back here on Monday night.
All right, see you next week.
TJ Lang and Andrew Quarless. That'll do it for our show tonight. Our producer, Reggie Rizou, our engineer, Evan Stanek, Justin Hull, and Mark Zahn here on location as well. I'm Bill Scott. So long, everybody. We'll do it again next week.